What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to some city skylines. We are back here in my Appalachia map and working on our metropolitan area and trying to get all of the basic utilities done. So we've already done all the power. We've got the water plant going and that's looking really good. We've done a few roads. We've even done a whole new interchange. We've even got a residential area kind of started, but I really wanted to do before we got the actual residential area in, which I know I keep saying is going to be the next episode, I always keep finding more issues that I need to take care of first. So as soon as I did the power plant and I did the water plant, the issue arose that there was a garbage collection issue. So I thought, you know what, we're going to need a recycling center. We're going to need a landfill, so to speak. And that's kind of what we're going to work on today. So what I did was I went over and we have that road that kind of connects over to the power plant, and my intentions was to bring that road kind of over and then have it connect up to our metropolitan area in a different way. Instead of taking the highway, you can take a much smaller country road and go back into there. And we're going to take the landfill / recycling center and we're going to put it out on this road, so it's kind of right outside the city, but yet it also will cover both towns, both the smaller town that's going to be down to the south and our metropolitan area here, which still doesn't have a name. It's based on Lexington, Kentucky, but really don't have a name for it yet. I also don't have a name for our New Circle Road, and I'm using air quotes on that. I don't have a name for that yet either. But what I do have is a great idea for our recycling center here. So we're going to start off up front, and I wanted to have it kind of more of an office center and like the main building where kind of all of the distribution and the work is actually kind of done on the inside there. All the interior work, you know, the sorting and all that is done in this bigger building. That's also where all the offices and stuff are for the landfill. And then we have a couple of drop-off points here for our citizens, so when they come down here, they will, you know, if they feel like they want to drop off trash themselves, they most certainly can. That is something that they can do. So they'll bring it down here to the sorting center themselves and drop it off. I'm guessing that's probably maybe for just people who just need, you know, to take off some trash or something before they actually get their service for that day. So it gives them the option. At least that's my thinking anyway. Of course, now there's also going to be some garbage trucks and some other stuff kind of running out of there as well. Now, on the back of the plant, I decided to do an advanced incineration plant and a regular incineration plant. Combine these two together, and it really makes kind of an awesome looking kind of facility right there as well. My throat is still sore, so hopefully doing this video won't actually cause it to be even worse. I do feel slightly better right now, but as I'm talking, I can actually kind of feel it kind of hurt. So one of the things here that I was trying to do was trying to figure out what I wanted to do to put in this little area back here as a filler spot. I eventually decided, you know, that this would be a great place for a warehouse. So then I just had to try to figure out the best warehouse to use for this particular area. And one of the ones I tried, I was like, oh, I really like that. That looks really good. And then I noticed it's one of the industries warehouses. So it's going to need like goods and all that. And that wasn't going to work for me. So I needed to figure out something else. I also tried Warehouse Charlie. Warehouse Charlie is a warehouse that most of the YouTubers and creators and stuff use. It's one of the most popular warehouses on the actual Steam Workshop. So it's also a one-of-a-kind building, so I had to get another mod so I could actually place more of those instead of just one. So I finally found the warehouse I wanted to use. I think this is it here. So once I figured out, I had two versions of this warehouse. I have one that is one for goods, and then one is that was obviously the one for goods. So I tried a couple of others here and was like, okay, well, that one looks good. And then I realized, no, that one's also for goods. Every single nice warehouse I had was from industries for storing of goods. And I didn't want that over there in that particular area. So that's when I actually realized, oh, wait, here is where I saw, okay, I have two versions of this. Oh, that works perfect. Fantastic. All right, so then we're going to just extend the road down here into the back, and then we're going to work on the actual landfill area. And this was something that I have been kind of testing around with and working with, trying to get it kind of right over the last, we'll say, couple of weeks, really. And because ever since the last episode, I've actually been kind of planning on how to do a landfill. So we're going to start with making some little hills over here in this area, and then we're going to use these kind of muddy roads basically to go over there. I've also switched up some of the textures using Theme Mixer as well. Theme Mixer is a mod that lets you you may already have a theme that you're using in your city, but Theme Mixer lets you kind of mix and match different kinds of themes together to make your own. And here I was able to find something that kind of looked like kind of a trash heap, kind of garbage kind of thing. And then I took these garbage decals that I found on the Steam Workshop and put them over top of these mounds here, and I think it really kind of comes out quite well. As you see, as we progress through here, we're going to kind of just decorate the trash heaps, which is kind of a whole lot of fun. This is, so far, the most detailed work I've done in City Skylines, as far as doing all these little, like little tiny details, putting each and every little piece of trash and garbage and stuff onto all these different hills. It was a pain, but it paid off in the end because it looks fantastic. As I'm looking over this and I'm thinking about everything that I did and all the little details and stuff and all the little effects and stuff that I added to this, one of the things I realized I forgot is a landfill staple. We don't have any tires in here, so I may have to go back and throw some tires around here and there around the trash heap for the next episode. But I think that will actually look quite good. So these roads, the muddy roads, basically, they match that that gravel texture that I put down there so well. And then the garbage matches that too. So it really looks like it's really actually very much looking like a landfill, and I'm very, very happy with it here. So at this point, I was just randomly placing down. I was like, I'm working on just one trash heap, but I've got like, what, 4 or 5, 6 others that I need to work on. So I was like, I need to just start kind of randomly placing the same thing instead of switching. So whatever one I'm on, I'm like, I'm just going to take this and just start placing it around on all the different heaps, and it made it a little faster. So it's ironic that the most work I put into this city so far, other than the actual map itself, has been the trash heap. Of all things, it's this. Not the water, not the power, although the power did take me a little bit to do the solar power plant. Still, it wasn't as detailed as all the little things I'm putting in here. My computer seems to be handling it quite well so far. I am at 20 frames a second, but I was at 20 frames a second before I started putting all these down, so not a big deal. Once I get a better video card one of these days, I think that will actually kind of pick up. My computer itself is handling it quite well. I've got 32 gigs of memory in DDR4. I could maybe use some faster memory. That actually might help a little bit. But it's my GTX 1070 that is kind of struggling to keep up with the 4K graphics that I'm running. So one of these days, hopefully maybe after I get a new job that actually pays a little something kind of well, maybe I can go ahead and get me one. The new GTX 2080 Supers are out, which is looking kind of nice. Still doesn't compare to a 2080 Ti, but I'll take what I can get. So now I've kind of am placing all of the little other things down around the landfill. I found these conveyor belts, which are supposed to be for mines, but I think thinking about landfills and stuff, I kind of feel like they would take loaders and cranes and stuff, and they would empty dump trucks and stuff down into these hoppers, and then the hoppers would be attached to these conveyor belts and then kind of dump the trash on top of the mounds. Now, I kind of feel like that's how that would work. I needed something over on this side, so I thought, oh, well, a landfill is probably going to have like a bunch of old cars, maybe like a scrap heap, so maybe we can do some of that over there as well. And then now I've got these excavators and all kinds of other little things that I'm putting down. Just basically heavy machinery that it would take to operate a landfill, especially one of this size. It's not that large, but it is a fairly large landfill. Now, ever since I saw these fences, I've been wanting to use them, and this was the perfect spot to actually use them. They're this like rusted metal, like corrugated metal fences, and I really, really like them. And this was the perfect spot to use them because I feel like, you know, maybe before any of the incineration plant or any of this other stuff was up there where it is, I feel like this would be like the oldest part of the landfill, like this area back here. And then they've kind of maybe like advanced things along and done some other stuff. I decided to put a warehouse back here in the back, and I think I'm actually going to put a couple more warehouses, and we're going to expand the landfill out because as I was looking at this, I realized the landfill is actually not that big, really, because most landfills are quite large, and this one's actually kind of small. We do have the incineration things going, though, so we're going to be burning a lot of the trash. So that will probably kind of help out a little bit, though. So once I get this road kind of fixed here, which was messing with me, at one point it did something really weird, like right there, and I was like, what are you doing, road? The one thing about these muddy roads is they don't actually kind of connect too well together when you're using more than like one direction or kind of connecting off of each other. They don't really work that well that way. You can definitely tell where they are connecting, so maybe we can try to find a way to hide that. Now, one of the other things that I found when I was looking on the workshop was a car crusher. So the car crusher works great right over there in that little area over there. So this way, when people bring in like old cars for scrapping or whatever, they can actually crush those. Perfect for a junkyard, basically. So this is kind of a little bit of everything. This is a landfill / incineration plant / recycling center / junkyard, so to speak. And I'm really loving so far how it's actually all coming together. It's really working quite well. We're just going to place a few more things here and there. And this was something I was trying to do. I noticed whenever I placed down Warehouse Charlie here, it would change the colors. Every single time I deleted it once and then replaced it again, it's like still a different color. It's like, nah, whatever, I'll go with it. Maybe it's a newer one that was just added. With all the heavy machinery and stuff that this area will have, I figure they're also going to need their own fuel tanks to fuel up the trucks and the heavy machinery, so we have that over there as well. And then we're going to continue the fencing around to this area here and expand the road out a little bit as well. So at this point I realized this warehouse here actually had double sides, so I spun it around and then I was like, ooh, let's do that, and then I'll run another road in that way, and that will connect this back area, and that gives us a reason to have that road kind of running through there. So there we go, and just kind of connecting those together there. And yeah, I mean, it's really looking quite well. Now for basically at this point, I'm just doing a lot more decoration. Just kind of whatever I can find, going through props and stuff that I think would kind of fit in this area. And I find quite a few things that actually will work quite well. For all the heavy machinery, maybe some of the heavy machinery over here needs repaired, or maybe they're just not using it for that day, so we got a little parking area. I placed this little forklift thingy down here, and I realized that it was sinking down into the ground, and then I realized, oh, my warehouses kind of are sunk down in the ground. So let's see if we can fix that. Some boxes and just some other things around through there. Maybe some trash bins kind of worked quite well as well. And at this point, I was like, oh, what are we going to do this for this other side? And I thought, let's continue that whole kind of junkyard theme with the scrap cars and stuff. Let's do that over here on the other side as well. So, and we're going to place down some pipes, some boards, and some crates, and just, anything we can. We're trying to level out this area and kind of make the whole area itself just kind of a little more flat if we can. That was kind of what I was thinking there. So got an extra conveyor over here, some extra trucks that's not being used right now with some trailers. Here's where we put down some crates. And this is where I'm actually going to make a bigger area of the actual junkyard for the cars and stuff right here at this point. To make this a little easier for myself, I was doing like different rows and stuff. So once I got done with this middle row, I literally just grabbed them all and just made a copy of them and then placed them down. It made things a whole lot easier. It does look a little repetitive, like if you're paying attention you can kind of tell, but I figure all in all, with everything else that's going to be in this area, you're not going to be paying a whole lot of attention to the fact that I just took the cars and just kind of randomly placed them here about, and they're the same thing. So I think it works quite well. We'll put another car crusher over there as well, kind of take care of all that. And one of the next things I will be doing here is just kind of, we're going to put some parking spaces in. This will be the parking area for all the employees that will be working there at the plant. And then one of the things that was bugging me was the road that I used was kind of, it didn't really match the same color as the rest of the road. Luckily we have these destroyed road and stained road decals that we can place down here. And once I started working with those, it really started to pop. And this was where everything kind of came together. It was the finishing touch, basically, was working on these roads here. So for now, this is where our landfill and recycling center is going to be over in this particular area. I feel like this is a great place for it. If I need to, I can move it later on, but I don't really see a need for it. We have this road that's going to connect between the two towns, the city and then the lower southern town, and I feel like there won't be a huge need to actually move this around. So I think it's just enough on the outskirts of the city to work. We may kind of work around with the possibly with the train and the tracks and stuff. We may have the train tracks kind of go maybe past here, maybe in the back by the actual landfill possibly. And maybe even do something like maybe a stop for the train or something. Maybe the train can stop there for freight to ship out stuff. I don't know. I'm no expert on landfills. I don't know how these things work. But we have we do have a train. We do have train tracks. And maybe we can do something where it kind of comes along this way. Because as of right now, I have the train kind of going through the middle of the city, which I don't really know if I want. It may actually end up causing a lot of issues in the actual city itself, but I think like I would rather have it more on the outskirts of the town than right through the middle. But we'll kind of see, because if you think about it, I mean, the main town would have been, say, when trains were coming through this area a long time ago, back when the railroads were actually made. The town was probably a much smaller town and probably revolved. Maybe it popped up because of the train, or maybe it popped up because of the river, and that's why the city is actually there, is more of a river city. And then we have the train that came through later on, was kind of on the outskirts of it at that point, but the city has grown so big at this point that it's just kind of in the middle of the town at this point. It could be a good story, and it might actually kind of help develop the areas a little bit. And boxing myself in with a train through the middle of the city might actually be a challenge. And I kind of like a challenge every now and then. One of the last things I had to do here was just connect up the water, and we had to make sure we had some sewage and some other stuff to the area. But let's go ahead and jump from here into our actual live view so I can show everything off in a little bit more glory. Shall we? Okay guys, welcome to the live view right now as we take a look at the city. So we're overlooking the metro area, the bigger city of probably the biggest city that's going to be on our map. In the last few episodes, as I said, we've gotten done a few of the other utilities. Down here we have our water plant and we have our residential area. So before we take a look at what we built today, let's take a look at some changes that I made. So I have added a few more things here. You can look and see here, all the garbage is finally out of this area, which was one of the biggest complaints that I was having, which is why we did the landfill today in this episode. We were able to get rid of that. So, I mean, yeah, there's a few garbage cans sitting here, but it's fine. In order to get them to come and pick this up, though, I had to put a road down through here because they weren't picking it up from this road back in here. They were getting these, but not these. So I put a road back in here, And I'll probably do some decal work and stuff to this for the next episode, just to make it kind of look a little more pretty. But I spread the clarifiers apart and was able to get that road right in through there, which works great. One of the great awesome things I love about these clarifiers is now you can actually see down in the water. When I first added these, it just looked like really sludgy and muddy, and you couldn't really see down in there. One of the mods that I've added since then now actually lets me see the transparencies and stuff, I guess. So, and now I can actually see the water in the actual clarifier. So I've actually learned something new about things such as clarifiers and such while I've been working on this series. What a clarifier does, for those who don't know, is the water goes into these, and then it's pumped into these giant tanks, and then the clarifier itself has this skimmer that goes across the top of the water, and it picks up all of the trash and the heavy, like thicker material and stuff, and dumps it into the sides over there. That's basically what that does. So it just skims the water and gets rid of the heavy material, and then the water from there is pumped into, I'm guessing it goes into these for oxidization. I don't 100% know. All I know is that I learned what clarifiers do. So, and then I learned that these things actually oxidize the water somehow using sunlight and chemicals, I'm guessing. So, but I don't really know the ins and outs of a water plant. So I tried to make this the best I can by looking at reference photos of other water plants and just kind of making it work. So, yeah, but I mean, this isn't the biggest thing. And of course, we have that residential area over there, so that's going to be the next thing. But as you can see here, I've added the road from, this is going to be our southern town down here. Just going to be a small town, nothing huge, but the power plant's down here. So all the workers for the power plant and stuff will be working up here. I had to add a eco water pump down here for sewage to get rid of sewage because we were getting sewage things here. But the electric plant, and then we have this road that kind of runs up through there, and I feel like this road should be doing this perfectly here. It should be running up through here. We have another bridge back here that takes across, and then up into over here, and then on the outskirts of the city, because this is our new circle road. I'm using the term loosely with air quotes until I find a better name for it, for our Lexington, again, air quotes area. And I figure it's right on the outskirts of town, so it should be able to provide all the trash trucks and everything to all around the city. We have enough of them coming out of this anyway, or the possibility for enough. So, ooh, I hear a seagull. Got to get rid of these seagulls. I've never seen a seagull in eastern Kentucky. I've seen blue jays, I've seen crows, I've seen cardinals, I've seen lots of other birds. I ain't never seen a seagull though. So let's look a little more in detail here though. If we zoom in a little bit, you can see the road and how great the road looks right there. So just kind of looks all scuffed up and worn. I really like that. The use of decals is fantastic on this. I'm loving how that came out. And then, so basically, when you come into the plant, the recycling plant, let's say you're dropping off trash or something, right? So you would come into one of these two areas here. This would be the sorting facility over here, and this would be maybe where you drop off just regular trash or something over here. Maybe you're on the way to work or for some reason like that. The actual big trucks, though, the trash trucks themselves, will be coming over here and back to the landfill. And then we'll bring it over into this area, and this is where the heavy machinery and all that will come into play and actually start working on all that. We do have looks like some Z fighting going on there with some of the stickers. Maybe I can fix that somehow. But yeah, I mean, we got the little warehouse back here, we got the bigger warehouse back here. I am seeing now that some of my props and stuff are kind of sticking up off the ground a little bit more than what I would prefer, but when you're looking at it from a distance, you're not really going to be seeing that. The trash trucks do come back here as well. I think they're just picking up trash from the warehouses, but it looks like they're they're dropping off. So that works for me. I can live with that. And then we have the back end back here where we can actually see the incineration plant and everything. And to me, I feel like this actually works and operates and looks just like an actual scrapyard and landfill recycling center would look like in, say, an area like this. So I feel that it looks quite good, honestly. I really do. I'm very happy with this. And as I said during the making of video, during the time lapse, this is the most detail I've ever put into a City Skylines build so far in just this one little thing. So I'm loving it, and this is just a predecessor of things to come. So I hope you guys also enjoy today's work, and I can't wait to see you in the next episode. Keep on tuning in, one episode every week. Until the next time, wherever you are in the world, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Thanks for watching, guys. What's up, everybody? Thank you for watching the video. If you haven't already, make sure you click that subscribe button down below and click on the bell to stay on top of all my new videos and live streaming events here on YouTube. I also want to give a huge shout out to all the names you see on the right for their support through donations, Patreon, and through Twitch subs. If you would like to join their ranks and you are able, you can do so by clicking on any of those links in the video description down below. No worries though, if you don't like giving away money like that, you can still support the channel by purchasing games or anything through Greenman Gaming, through Humble Bundle, or through Amazon by clicking on my links and making your purchase. A little bit of that goes towards me to support the channel. If you still can't get enough of me, you can always check me out live on twitch.tv and stay up to date with me on Twitter as well. Now that's going to be it, but I can't say thank you enough for all your support here on the channel. Wherever you guys are in the world, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. See you later.